This is The Space Shot, episode 232 for January 1st, 2018. Happy New Year. Hey everyone, welcome to The Space Shot, your daily space history, pop culture, and news fix. I'm John Molnix. I've got a quick birthday update that I want to mention today because this astronomer does some cool work. Martha P. Haynes is the Goldwin Smith Professor of Astronomy at Cornell University. Her research has focused on observational cosmology, galaxy evolution, and radio astronomy. Her studies focus on how galaxies are distributed in the local universe and how they form and evolve. She took part in the Alfalfa survey that used the Arecibo telescope to catalog gas-bearing galaxies. I'm linking to a few pages in the show notes that go into more detail on her work. 2018 is going to be a momentous year for the podcast. I'm approaching 365 episodes, and it's crazy to think that the 1-year anniversary for the podcast is rapidly approaching. The past few days have been wonderful because they've been slower news and history days. It's allowed me to have a little bit lighter schedule with the podcast, which has been nice because I've been able to enjoy the new year and get ready for the coming weeks. Tomorrow, we're diving back into the daily history with an early Soviet mission, Luna 1. Now, for the last part of today's podcast, I'm sharing episode 9, It's a Beautiful Day in the Stellar Neighborhood. I talked about this episode a few days ago, and I want to include it here because it's an older one that many of you probably missed. Have a great rest of your New Year's Day. Enjoy. This is The Space Shot, episode 9 for May 23rd, 2017. It's a beautiful day in the stellar neighborhood. Hey everyone, I'm John Molnix, and today I'm taking a little bit of a departure from SpaceX and the commercial programs I was originally intending to cover. I had a lot of wonderful people in my life when I was growing up. My parents, sisters, friends, grandparents, and extended family all helped make me who I am today. In the category of friends, I'd also put neighbors. And for me, as a little kid, one of my favorite neighbors was Mr. Rogers. I wanted to talk about Mr. Rogers for a few reasons today. First, Twitch, the live stream video platform, is currently streaming every one of the 886 Mr. Rogers episodes. Imagine my surprise this morning when I checked out the live stream and saw an episode related to space. Lady Elaine was getting ready to leave on her flight for Jupiter, along with her food, radio, and most importantly, a statue of King Friday on the flight to Jupiter. I had just missed the episodes with Apollo 15 astronaut Al Worden, but I'm hoping I can find those online at some point. During the Apollo 15 mission, Worden took an envelope from Mr. Rogers with questions from viewers of the show. I'll include a link in the show notes for more information about the Apollo 15 episode. There are two other historical bits I want to cover real quick before I get to the second part of the show. Mr. Rogers has an asteroid named after him, 26858, and the next part is in one word here. Mr. Rogers was discovered in 1993 and is a Mars-crossing asteroid. He also has a planetarium show named after his show called The Sky Above Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and it's still shown in planetariums today. Mr. Rogers influenced society in ways that go beyond the show he produced for his youngest viewers. In the past 48 hours, there have been a few stories that have gone viral about interactions that people have had with Mr. Rogers over the year, and these stories are being shared now in the aftermath of the despicable terrorist attack in Manchester. It's obvious that his kindness and attitude about life still resonate today, over 14 years after his passing. As Mr. Rogers put it, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping, and I agree that focusing on the good that these people bring us helps us gain clarity and perspective in difficult times. His philosophy of kindness and supporting those around us by encouraging and building them up is something we could all learn from. Before I go, I'd like to share something that he wrote to accompany his planetarium show. As an adult, have you ever been fascinated by something in the nighttime sky, like the shape of the moon on a particular night? Do you remember being awed by a sunset or a sunrise? All of that contributes to your feelings and becomes part of what you communicate to the children. Attitudes are caught, not taught. And when you, in your own honest way, convey marvel in your voice and in your facial expressions, you're helping children appreciate the sky as a wondrous thing. I'm still working on figuring out exactly what each episode of The Space Shot will bring, but I do know that I want to help inspire a sense of awe for the universe, for human spaceflight, for history, and for the future missions we have yet to take in every episode. We're living at the beginning of humanity's greatest chapter. This October marks the 60th anniversary of when humans sent a satellite into space for the first time, and we're still 2 years away from the 50th anniversary of when we first walked on the moon. During the last half-century, we've seen technological innovations that have improved the material condition of our daily lives in almost every respect. And we now live in an age where almost every piece of information that exists is accessible through the device you're currently using to listen to this podcast. It's hard not to have a sense of wonder and awe when you consider how far we've come in such a short time. There's more beauty and wonder in this world than we can fully comprehend, and I hope that I can share a little bit of that with you over the coming year. Until tomorrow, I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I'd appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes. If you leave a review, screenshot it and send it to me at John Molnix pretty much everywhere on the internet, and I'll shoot you a Space Shot sticker and a little thank you. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of the daily episodes. As always, the show notes have more information on today's episode. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Find me at John Molnix. I'm always up to chat. You can also connect with me on Facebook. Just search The Space Shot or click the link in the show notes. Tomorrow, Luna 1. I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side.